Good afternoon, Ligia. How are you?
Fine, thank you very much, Karime. Good to see you and hear you.
I say the same. I'm glad. Well, today I would like to ask you some questions about your college career and your professional life. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
It's pleasure.
what did you study?
I studied what in the US is called JD or Juris Doctor or Attorney at Law, and in Mexico it's normally called lawyer. So I'm a lawyer, and I studied that many years ago.
Why did you decide to study law?
It's something that it's funny because I really didn't want to study on the first instance law, but I wanted to study international relations. However, in the year that I finished high school, there were no openings for that year in the college that I wanted to study, which was the Colegio de Mexico. So I said, and I wanted to study in the best school,
Yes.
public or not. And so I wanted to study in the Colegio de Mexico, but it was not open that year, and I didn't want to lose 1 year of my life. So I decided to study law, and then I said that maybe from law I could derive to international
Yes.
things and diplomacy, etc. So, but it was alike, and that was the reason to get into the law school. Yeah, that was the reason. At the end, I didn't study in the Colegio de Mexico, but in the Escuela Libre de Derecho in
Oh,
Mexico.
but you finished enjoying the career.
A lot. Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, and I I have also the fortune that during my studies, at the end, I have, let's say, half of my time, I would say, is international law, by the way. So
Oh,
yes, I'm happy because
okay.
at the end, it was like the combination between law and the international studies.
Yes, there were the both things. What did you like the most about your career?
That I need to negotiate to know people, and that it's a career that you can choose the area that you want to study. However, I like from law that I have had the chance to look at the law in 360 grades. I mean, I work normally for companies, and I have business law, etc. But you cannot survive as a lawyer if you don't know the whole thing. So you can say one day and you wake up and you say, today I would like today to study some of criminal law, and you have something to study on criminal law connected with what you do. So what I do is try to connect the different areas of laws with business, numbers. I like numbers. Uh,
I
yes,
admire you.
there's a lot of people who does not like numbers, and they finish studying only law because of that. But I like numbers and science, so you can put everything together. And if you want something in the law that talks about science, you will you will find it. If you want something in the law that speaks about society, you will find it. Uh, and also the comprehension of the way that the law is being used in the good way of the word, it's an art. I would say that after all these years, law is not maybe a science, is not totally a thing of philosophy, but it's the combination of many things, and so it finishes being an art. It's a fine art.
Oh, so you would say that at the end, the career is a combination of different areas and you can choose where do you go.
Yeah, yes, yes. You can be businesswoman. You can be a person who go to investigation of law. You can be a person who are trained to create things in intellectual property, such as trademarks, and so you have to be quite a good technician. And if you want to study criminal law, you have to know, depending on the kind of uh, criminal things that you are studying, you have to know about war, about firearms. If you want to go to be a teacher, you can do it. So it's, yes, it's a very. If you want to be a politician, obviously, legislator, etc.,
Yes.
congresswoman. Yes, it,
Yes, it has a lot of areas. What will you say was the biggest obstacle at your college career?
in my college, it depends. If you are speaking about the problems in the career, is that I don't like to put things in my memory. I don't like things by heart, you know. And many people think that law is to learn things by heart, and I don't think that's true. You have to understand it. And so when you look at the law and you see something that does not match, you can criticize it. If you learn it by heart, you close the mind to criticism. So if from the standpoint of studying law in general, the problem is that I don't like to memorize things. From the school standpoint, is that is one of the most difficult schools of law
Yes.
that you can choose. It's quite
Yes.
difficult. My school, yes, that's you have to struggle with that.
Yes, you have to memorize, but I agree with you that it isn't all about memorizing, it's about to analyze what are we talking about. Uh, do
Yes,
you
and
have
understand.
do you have another scholar degree?
Yes, yes. I have a master in law, but it's called in the US as LLM. Uh, in general, some of the masters in the US are not called like that, but in my school, I made it in Harvard many years ago also.
Wow, really impressive.
Thanks. And that, to be honest, I loved Harvard. It's incredible, but I went there when I was grown. I was 30 years old when I went there, so it was, maybe that was the reason for me to look Harvard a little bit easier than the Escuela Libre de Derecho.
Yes.
Yes, but yes, I did love it. So I have a master in law, and I also have some um, diplomas in other parts of law, which is criminal law and just the complement, because most of my career is international things. So I studied also a diploma in international commercial arbitration and in business laws. Uh, and I don't remember, and contracts, negotiations, laws. Um, Basically, those are the studies that I have.
Wow. Well, you are really prepared. Are you bilingual? Oh, yes.
Ah, yes.
I,
Obviously,
I can see.
not naturally bilingual, because
How
I have an accent.
I have an accent. How has it impacted your professional life? Uh, Speaking many languages.
It's very important. Let's say I will tell you one story. Um, I have the honor to represent Mexico before the United Nations in one of the commissions of the United Nations, which is called UNCITRAL, is the United Nations Commission for Development of Commercial Law. And so it's to develop laws, international laws for commercial things. So when I go to UNCITRAL, to the UN, you have to, as Spanish is one of the languages of the UN, official one, you have to speak because of the rules of diplomacy. If you speak one of the languages of the official ones that the UN has, you have to speak in that. So I speak in Spanish, but you're listening in the ear. You listen what the translators are saying, and many times I listen something that it's not really what I wanted to say because they are translating. So what I do is I listen in English what I am saying in Spanish, and sometimes I catch that is so technical, or I was mistaken in the way that I said it, that maybe the translator did not catch it. So I have to be listening, and I know if my colleagues from all around the world understood me or if I have to correct it. That's one of the things. And the second is that I normally today I work as, I would say, 70% in English because I negotiate contracts, big contracts
Yes.
of 200, 300 pages. And so if you don't speak English and you negotiate with people from the UK, US, uh, Spain, Portugal at the same time, or Netherlands, you have to speak in English. There's no other way.
I
So you
think
have to
that
understand it.
I think there
That's
is. Sorry, continue.
yes, please.
I think there is a moment where you forget, oh, I speak English because I speak Spanish because of all the language that you practice every day. I think most of the day you speak English, as I can see of your work.
Yes, from the professional standpoint, yes. From the academic standpoint, no, I teach in Spanish. I teach international private law in Spanish. Uh, so in that sense, no. And as academic, and I belong to some associations for law. I'm the general attorney for the Mexican Bar Association, and in that sense, that's Spanish. And you have to understand what politicians are saying also. But from the commercial and international law side, yes, it's basically English.
Well, where are you working now? You said that you were teaching?
I can tell you that I have, as a matter of fact, three works. The
Oh,
first,
you are a businesswoman.
the first is that I'm a teacher, a professor of law of international private law for free. Normally, I give some also lectures. That's one of the on my sides. The other side is I'm honorific because I don't pro bono would say uh, counselor for the Ministry of Foreign Relations regarding commercial law. I'm also a part of associations, and as part of associations is also for free with the Mexican Bar and with the Consejo Coordinador Empresarial. That's from the business standpoint. So I have the uh, chair of the Commission for Ethics and Compliance of Companies in the Consejo Coordinador Empresarial from Mexico. Uh, but the only place where I have some salary is a company for which I work, which is the third company or the second or third company biggest in Mexico. And in that sense, what I do is transactions. So I'm the M&A, it's called M&A, which is mergers and acquisitions legal director. So I'm in charge of negotiating M&A, which is mergers, acquisitions, and transactional things. Also, I have two companies on my head from the legal standpoint. So I work for that company.
Wow, really impressive. What do you enjoy most about your work? Well, your three works.
Negotiation, because all of it includes negotiations, all of them. And for to be a negotiator, you need first of all understand the other side. So you need to open your mind and put in the shoes of the other side. That means understand and try to get the point in which interest can be a fixed, funded, or merger, precisely the merger of the interest of parties. So and that implies also to understand the other side you need to study. One of the things that I enjoy the most is that if you want to be a lawyer of every day, you don't need to read a lot just to read the new law. If you want to be always have a fun, it's because you're studying and knowing and listening others. I enjoyed that a lot. And negotiating, yes,
Oh, so you learn something new every day at your
yeah,
work.
always, always.
Now, which advice would you give to a law student?
Don't lose your time. Use it as much as you can while you are a student. And if you have time to read and to go to cases, case law is very important. Use your time on that. Also enjoy the way to practice law with your fellows, because when you are with your fellows in the school, you are also negotiating, and you can practice that with them. And arguing, argumentation is basic with other people. Try to enjoy and discuss why whichever author or book or professor said whatever. Always put a question mark in everything. And everything that you do, learn, and write in a paper, everything has substance and the reason to be there in the law. I mean, basically, you will not look a lot of holes in the law, and you will find a way to interpret and construct from the Constitution and other books and doctrine. If you can find the way to put them into the practice, is because you always were trying to answer the question mark in everything. Don't take things as granted, as a dogma. Nothing is a dogma. Everything you can question, and from there you can construct. And one other thing is that they normally tell us that the Constitution is like the Bible, and yes, it is. However, there's many substances which are in the Constitution, which is not precisely the way that it is written, is the spirit that is below the what is written in the Constitution. And if you can find it, you will have the way to argue for the principles of a country which is democratic, it's free, it's a republic, and it's a federal one. And if the fundaments, because anyone is trying to change those fundaments, you will look always the way to argue how to defend a real constitution, not words, the real constitution, which is the willing of people looking always for freedom with respect for laws and other persons. If you have that in your mind all the time and questioning if everything that is being written is in accordance with that, you will never get bored. You will always be working and creating new rules and arguments.
Uh, Thank you really much for the advice. I think I will remember it forever. And thank you so much for the interview, for your time. I hope we can talk and see each other again. And
For
thank you
sure.
very much.
Yes, please. My pleasure, because I love that. I have had uh, more than 1,000 students in my life, and I love
A little.
always to be working and talking and learning from them. So it's anytime that you want anything, just call me and we can try to find the answer together.
Thank you. Thank you so much.